Hello everyone, Trisha, it's me, Jenny. It's time for another Not Naked video response to Trisha Hershberger's series Naked Truth, where we talk as candidly and as truthfully as possible about a subject of her choosing, straight out the shower, no makeup, mostly wet hair. Today's a non-hair washing day. I was going to film this yesterday, which was a hair washing day, and then I realised I left my camera at work, so I couldn't film it. So, yeah, mostly wet hair, no makeup, first take, one take, etc, etc. Most people choose to do it naked. I choose not to, but either way it's not a sexy time thing, it's being a vulnerable and honest type thing, a tool for the vlogger, as it were. And today's subject is fandom purchases and whatnot. And I really don't have a lot to talk about on this subject because I've been actively trying to declutter my life for several years, and I've actually started to make some significant progress this year. Like, my windowsill is empty and under my bed it's pretty much empty, and hopefully in the next year I'll get to the point where I can reduce the size of my wardrobe so it's only got clothes in it and I don't need to keep it for the sake of keeping books. And like, I'm one of those people that I like clutter. I really do. I find it like comforting, but I also find it stress making. It's a very hypocritical sense of thinking, and I find myself better able to function when I have less stuff, even though when I have more stuff it makes me feel like, oh, everything's I can, you know, it's a very mixed feeling. But to that sense, when I was, you know, young, teenager and earlier, I would be very much into buying like little bric-a-bracs and knick-knacks and all those sort of things. When I go out to charity shops, I'd buy like a little statuette of something, or, you know, I go to, I don't know, a museum or whatever and buy a little something, and then I just found myself buried in all these little somethings. So I try not to buy too much. It's one of the reasons why I see these sponsorships by people like Loot Crate and things like that, where it's like really awesome stuff that they're getting. I'm never going to be sponsored by them though, because I don't want to be gifted things that I would have to then give away or would just take up space. I'm one of those people. And it's kind of, there's a phrase that I've been running with for the last couple of years, which is a William Morris quote, I believe, which is don't have anything in your life which you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful. And that's kind of what I'm aiming for at the moment. That being said, I do have a couple of nerdy purchases, and I thought it would be appropriate today to wear my VidCon t-shirt, which I believe to be useful because by the time I got to the freebie section of VidCon 2015, not 2016, they only had large or extra large, and so I went all out and I went for extra large, and it basically comes down to my knees and makes a great nightie. But coming to actual geeky purchases, I have two anime plushies. Madoka Magica, yay! Although that's not Madoka, that's Omora. It's been a long time since I watched it, but yeah. And we have, yay! What I love about this one though, it's a Soul Eater one, and it says on the bottom, not fit for ages 15 and under. You've got to be 15 to own one of these apparently, which I find fascinating, but yeah, I love it. And the only other thing which was a gift is my Gigi from Kiki's Fine Delivery Service, which was a gift rather than a purchase for myself. And I really just, I like a lot of things, but again, I have to believe them to be beautiful or know them to be useful. And I don't have a lot of nerdy friends who would, you know, come around my place and hang out in my room and be like, oh my god, I know that, or I know that. Most of the time when people come round, they just, you know, sit in the sitting room and we have tea and talk about life things, and if needs be I can run up and get something, but I'm not really in a position where I show off my nerdy goodness, as it were, and I don't really want to spend money on things that are going to take up space and just become dust collectors. I have enough various teddy bears from my childhood and child's books. Like, the reason why I did a series last year on children's books was trying to, you know, sort out my children's books so I can get rid of them and they're not gathering dust. The only other fan thing that I can think of that I purchased the One Ring for my sister, and I purchased an Even Star for myself. I know Trisha has one of these as well, and, you know, something that I know to be beautiful, believe to be beautiful, and know to be useful. It's a good piece of jewellery. You know, it works for nerdy occasions, it works for normal occasions, so I believe it to be beautiful and know it to be useful, and that's the best of both worlds. But I love this thing, it's beautiful, and it was really cheap. I bought it online. It was like, I don't know, £6 or something. It was really cheap, it was lovely, and yeah. But I'm into that sort of frame of mind. So if there's something nerdy that could also multi-class something else, like, I don't know, a storage box which has something that I'm interested in terms of nerd culture, like, I don't know, a Game of Thrones design on something, or that sort of thing, and it goes with my room and I can put it somewhere that's useful and looks nice, I'm all for it. But I don't want to fill up my life with things that I don't love. And yes, if I were to get something that I also it's cool and nerdy and I believe to be beautiful, then I'm gonna get it. But until that point, I don't want to have, I'm desperately trying to declutter. It's such a challenge. Me and my family are notorious for the ample amount of mess we produce, and I am trying to adjust that trend by only having things that I love in my life. So, you know, I just need to find something that I'm really passionate about and I think will have long-lasting joy factors. But yeah, that's my rambly one take vlog. I can't retake these no matter how much I ramble. That's kind of, you know, the rules. So I rambled on long enough. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment, and I'll see you guys all next week for another naked truth of some kind and some various vlogs in the meantime. Thank you for watching. Bye.